Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long was 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long was 1975.
Hey YouTube, Long Post 1975 and welcome to the random vlog. Yeah, you've read the title. Everything that takes place in this video is alleged, if you know what I mean. Wink wink, nudge nudge, ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies. I've alluded to this once or twice in vlogs before and just, mentioned that I got a free SEGA Master System converter from Virgin when I was a kid. And every now and then someone comes across that old video. Can't remember what one it is. I should have checked that because there's a comment on it now, which is what's triggered me into making this video. But it says, "Wait, is that true? I demand more details." So when I was a kid, I wrote a letter to Richard Branson, care of Virgin, Virgin Mastertronic, to ask if I could buy a SEGA Master System converter at half price or at trade, if you will, because I didn't want to ply it on that thick, although I did ply it on pretty thick in the letter, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, first things first, I was raised properly and correctly. I'd never steal, I'd never, hit people or anything like that. I wouldn't scam friends or family, but when it comes to big business, big corporate business, even as a 12-year-old, a target's a target. And then before anyone says, man, that's dishonest, right, if you're of my generation, right, again, I was 12, everyone did shit like this back then. It was just called being a cheeky little scamp, if you will, just seeing how far you could get, or what you could get just by trying, like, writing a letter to a Chris company, complaining about the bag of, Smith skydivers was awful, and then getting a fucking box of them in the mail. Same with chocolate bars, same with coffee, same with shit like that. You just did it. My mates did it and I did it, only I pushed it a little bit further and got a SEGA Master System converter. Now, why did I want a SEGA Master System converter? And also, Dave, you could have paid for it yourself. You had 3 part-time jobs, you're absolutely loaded, which is how you bought your SEGA Master System and how you bought your Japanese SEGA Megadrive. Yes, I did. But do you know what's better than buying shit? Getting free shit. And also, it was like, why not just try it on? What's the worst that could happen? Might get a free SEGA Master System converter. Oh wait, yes, I did. I am aware that obviously Richard Branson didn't read the letter, but I still addressed it to him. Anyway, right, so we're in 1990 town now, right? So I already sold my SEGA Master System to supplement my Japanese Megadrive months and months and months ago. But the thing is, there were some absolute bangers in my SEGA Master System collection that I just could not get rid of. And I knew that, obviously, even in Mean Machines and stuff like that, when they were previewing the Japanese Megadrive, they'd let you know that there was a Power Base Converter for the Mega Drive, so you could play all your Master System games, which is kind of funny because the Master System and the SD 1000, 2000, 3000, whatever, because there was a Master System eventually in Japan, wasn't popular. Period. And then ironically, you made a Power Base Converter for a console that was not popular as well, the Mega Drive, but it was there. And so while I never fully intended to buy one, I still couldn't bring myself to get rid of R-Type, because absolutely fantastic SEGA Master System game, absolutely amazing, has a whole extra level, and Wonder Boy in Monsterland, because it's an absolutely fantastic RPG light is what I would call it, and Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap, because that is probably the best game on the SEGA Master System. Controversial statement? I think not. You know I'm right, just nod your head and agree. And the final one was Double Dragon, because I had such, fond memories of, well, not so much very old memories then, recent memories then, of playing it with both my brothers, and I didn't know at this point that there'd obviously be a nearer to the arcade version of Double Dragon on the Mega Drive, which also Double Dragon on the Mega Drive's pants. It's nowhere near as good as the arcade. So I kept this. So I had 4 games that I couldn't play, and the Power Base Converter, right, was I want to say it was about £49. Also, am I right in saying that the hardware needed to run Master System games was actually in the Mega Drive anyway. The chips or whatever, they were part of the Mega Drive. Like the sound chip was there to provide sound towards whatever the sound chip was in the Mega Drive. By all means, correct me if I'm wrong in the doohickey down below. But it was purely to a bypass, so because you couldn't fit the cartridge, could you? The Master System cartridge into your Mega Drive, and obviously there was no card slots on the Mega Drive, so there was a card slot on the front of this. Does that mean the 3D glasses worked if you had a Power Base Converter on your Mega Drive? I want to say I've got a nagging feeling or memory from somewhere around the back of Shah that they did not. So I wanted, a Sega Master System converter, Power Base Converter. I've got a stock converter, Power Base Converter. And yeah, so I didn't want to pay £49 for it. So I just thought, for shits and giggles one day, I'm just going to write to Virgin. Because Virgin Mastertronic were the initial distributors of the Master System, originally I should say. And it was a massive success for them. And obviously Mastertronic was when they purchased the Mastertronic, 8-bit micros budget label. The first budget label in the United Kingdom, I want to say. Another staple of my childhood. And don't you wish they made it like Magic Knight series made it over to consoles? I know that's a bit random, but I just thought, I'd put it out there. And yeah, so yeah, they then were in the initial distribution. I can't think of the word. I just got them from work. Of the Mega Drive. Then I think Sega became set up their own UK branch to handle, continuing distributing, I should say, that's the word I'm looking for, and the games etc. for the Mega Drive. But it was initially Virgin, so I don't know if he kind of cack-handed it, and that's why Sega got involved. Because Richard Branson was that guy who he's a typical socialist, right? Where he's a full-on socialist, but he's made all his money through capitalism, but still, preaches the benefits of socialism. Champagne socialist. That's the word I'm looking for. But anyway, he was a bit kind of out there, a little bit gooky and stuff like that. Kept trying to break records like speedboat across the Atlantic. Spoilers, it sank. And then he tried to do a balloon trip across the Atlantic. Spoilers, it crashed. Not sure about that. And then he made games on the spectrum of both those things. Yeah, but anyway, he was an absolute millionaire. And also, fair play to this one, he started Virgin Flights just because, BA pissed him off and talked shit about him. I mean, come on, that's putting your money where your mouth is. So anyway, he was in charge of distributing the Mega Drive and stuff like that. So and it's only been out for a teensy-wincy time here. So I thought, fuck it, 12-year-old me wrote a letter to Richard Branson, and I think it was actually coming up for Christmas, so that kind of helped out. And yeah, again, cheeky scam, 12-year-old. Bear that in mind. It's funny because both my brothers remember this, and my mum remembers this, and she always said to me, years ago when we were talking about it, she goes, "Did you lie in the letter?" And of course I fucking lied in the letter. I mean, I told him Dad worked away from home. You would bloody notice that, surely. Anyway, so I wrote this letter, right, and I plied it on thick, like, "Dear Mr. Branson," I don't know why I'm going to do it in a Victorian child voice, it just makes you sound poorer. "Dear Mr. Branson, don't have much money, saved it all up for my Japanese..." No, I didn't say that, obviously. That's just because I'm so used to saying Japanese Mega Drive in the videos. "Saved it all up for my Mega Drive. Any money I've left, I have to give my mum, because obviously Dad works away from home. We haven't got much cash." Like, properly plying it on. And they said, "I don't want anything for free, because that would be wrong. But is there any way I could have a Power Base Converter at like cost or something, because that's all I can afford really, and I've got Master System games that no one wanted to buy when I sold my Master System to help pay for my Mega Drive." Like, there was a bit more to it than that, but basically, cheeky scam, lying like an absolute bastard. Like I said, no harm, no foul. What you gonna get if you don't try? And then a week or so later, my mum came up to me and she said, "There's a phone call for you," and I'm pretty sure the lady said it's from Virgin. And she scratched her head going, "What? Was the airline around at this point?" Pretty sure it was. But so she's probably thinking, "We got flights booked or something like that. Why is Virgin calling my son?" So I'm like, oh shit, bit of adrenaline going on. Couldn't be. I mean, yeah, there's no way. I mean, anyone who looked at that letter, right, is just going to go, fucking, what a load of bollocks. And yeah, so the lady on the phone said, "Hi, can I speak to Mr. David Wade?" Normally I'd say Dave, but obviously not at this point. It went, Yeah, speaking. Trying to make myself sound all like, fucking simple and shit like that. And she goes, Mr. Richard Branson came across your letter the other day, to which I'm like, even as a 12-year-old, bollocks, did he? And I'm his personal secretary. Bollocks, are you? You're probably a secretary, and someone came across this letter. I mean, do you open a letter if it says to Richard Branson just because it's clearly got, sketchy kids' handwriting on it or something? I don't know, but yeah, he read your letter, and he was very touched by the fact that you had jobs and a work ethic and stuff like that. And he would like to send you a power base converter. I'm like, yes, but I'm trying to play, 12-year-old cool on the phone. Oh, wow, thank you so much, because you want to sound like grateful and poor at the same time. You say thank you with a P. Thank you so much. And then she went, we just need to know, because the import scene, thanks to CVG and all those magazines, because they were big selling magazines and the grey imports in the back, was ripe at this point. And they were actually competing with Japanese importers to some degree at the start of the official launch of it, probably because everyone knew that they were pants PAL versions and shit like that. But so she asked on the phone, you don't have an import Megadrive, do you? You actually have an official UK Megadrive, don't you? And like, my brain's thinking, well, of course I'm not going to fucking admit the obvious. And I went, no, I've got the one I bought from Virgin Megastore, because I've heard terrible things about those Japanese ones, that they start fires and stuff like that. And I think at this point she's thinking, yeah, stop plying on to it. No, that's okay. We just need to check, because obviously it won't fit a Japanese one. As if they'd send it to you if it did fit a Japanese one and you admitted you had a Japanese one. But yes, because it wouldn't fit in that Japanese one, to which I wanted to say, because I had an official, again, wouldn't, but my brain's thinking, wrong answer. That little arm that comes out from the side when you put a UK cartridge in it just pushes against it with such a weak ass force that the power switch goes on anyway. But obviously I just went, no, that's awesome of you. Thank you. And so yeah, another week or so later, first class, like fucking super delivered mail, I got a power base converter, care of Virgin, care apparently of Richard Branson and his personal secretary, allegedly, in the post. How cool is that? Now, the thing is, again, 12-year-old cheeky scam, it's perfectly fine. We all did shit like that. But the best thing is, even though I swore by loving those games and all that shit and stuff like that, I had so many decent bangers of 16-bit games at this point. I really started going back to 8-bit games less and less and less. So, a fortnight later, I sold the Power Base Converter with those games for like £110 to a kiddie at secondary school who just got his official Mega Drive, but had to sell a whole bunch of his Master System games and his Master System. He went kind of helped his upgrade the same way I did, but still really loved Master System and those games. So I sold it to him. Ben Davies. He was in the year below me, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so I sold it to him 2 weeks later. So that's how I got a free power base converter from my Japanese Mega Drive back in the day, by writing a cheeky, scampy, e-begging letter? Well, you know what I mean, it's not e-begging back then, but hey, fuck me, YouTubers do worse shit than this. They're all fucking grifters these days, so bollocks to it. But yeah, and I was a 12-year-old and you did shit like this, so yeah, that's how I got my power base converter. And both my brothers and my parents, still, if you mention this, hey, who remembers that time that Virgin called me and sent me a power base converter because I wrote a letter to them and plied shit on a bit thick? Anyway, as always, I'd love to know what you think, especially if you did shit like this back in the day. This kind of got away from me, especially my Victorian child accent. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.